Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I could be more? Not out of insecurity, but from that quiet voice deep inside whispering that you're capable of something greater. Maybe you've had glimpses of it, those rare days when you wake up early, when your mind feels sharp, your body feels strong, and your focus feels unstoppable. And in those moments you think, why can't I live like this every day? The truth is, most people never do. They build routines around comfort, not growth. They chase motivation instead of mastering consistency. They want transformation, but they ignore the simple disciplines that actually create it. Today, I want to take you on a different kind of journey. A story about how changing the small things, the invisible habits you don't post about, can completely reshape your life. Because self-improvement isn't about overnight change. It's about understanding that your daily actions, especially the ones no one sees, are what define who you become. I used to think I was doing everything right. I'd set big goals, I'd watch motivation videos, I'd write down plans. But then I'd fall back into the same old patterns. Scrolling late at night, skipping my workouts, waking up tired and wondering why nothing was changing. It wasn't until I stopped chasing massive transformations and started mastering the basics that everything clicked. So let's start with a truth that most people don't want to hear. Your habits are stronger than your motivation. You can feel inspired one day and completely drained the next. But if your habits are solid, your progress won't depend on how you feel. Every successful person you admire didn't rely on motivation. They relied on structure. Their success wasn't built on hype. It was built on repetition. Think about your mornings. How you start your day sets the entire tone. You either wake up in control or you wake up reacting. One tiny choice, the decision to scroll your phone or to move with purpose, creates a ripple effect that defines the next 16 hours of your life. When I stopped waking up and checking notifications and instead started my mornings with movement, cold water, and silence, my days felt completely different. It wasn't just about productivity, it was about clarity. I started making better decisions, not because I had more willpower, but because I started my day from a place of control instead of chaos. But there's another side of this, the night. What you do before bed often decides how you wake up. Most people destroy tomorrow's energy by what they do tonight. They scroll endlessly, eat junk food, overstimulate their brain, and then wonder why they wake up exhausted. But when you build a nighttime routine that signals peace instead of noise, your body starts to reset properly. That's when real recovery happens, physically and mentally. A single night of intentional rest can do more for your growth than a week of fake productivity. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to disconnect? Not just from your phone, but from the noise, the endless stream of opinions, comparisons, and distractions. We live in a world where silence feels uncomfortable, but in that silence, that's where you actually hear your thoughts. That's where discipline begins. Discipline isn't punishment, it's respect for your future self. Every time you do something difficult today, you're making life easier for the version of you that wakes up tomorrow. And when you start living for that version of yourself, your entire mindset changes. You stop chasing instant results. You start building foundations. Here's the thing. Growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like saying no to a night out. Sometimes it's turning off your phone when you could be scrolling. Sometimes it's doing the workout even when you're tired, or reading when you'd rather watch something mindless. That's what real transformation looks like. It's quiet, consistent, and often unseen. But the results? They speak louder than words. Your posture changes. Your confidence grows. People start to feel your energy shift, not because you're showing off, but because you're finally aligned with yourself. And yet, most people will never experience that shift because they're addicted to comfort. They think they'll change when life gets easier, but life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You get sharper. You become the kind of person who doesn't need ideal conditions to make progress. You act, even when it's inconvenient. That's the difference between dreaming and becoming. When you commit to improving yourself, even just 1% each day, you start to see how powerful small actions really are. It's like compound interest for your character. Every day you follow through, even in the smallest way, you're adding to your internal momentum. And one day you'll look back and realize, those tiny decisions completely rewrote your story. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but where do I start? You start with one thing, just one. Maybe it's fixing your sleep schedule. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room. Maybe it's doing a 10-minute workout every morning. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's something that pushes you out of autopilot. Because once you prove to yourself that you can change one thing, you realize you can change everything. And here's the secret most people miss. Confidence isn't something you find. It's something you build through keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and actually do it, you're sending your brain a message. I can trust myself. That's where true self-belief comes from. Not from external validation, not from achievements, from integrity. I used to think confidence meant never doubting yourself. Now I know it means showing up even when you do. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to start, even when it's messy. You're supposed to build momentum even when no one notices. You're supposed to keep going, even when no one claps. Because those moments are what shape you. So let me ask you again, how would your life change if you actually gave 100% to yourself? Not for a week, not for a month, but consistently. What if you stopped waiting for motivation and instead started creating systems that make discipline inevitable? Maybe you'd finally see the version of yourself you've been imagining all along. The one who walks with confidence, speaks with clarity, and wakes up with purpose. Because that version of you isn't somewhere out there. It's inside you, waiting for your actions to match your potential. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to build your dream for you. But the moment you decide that you're done living below your potential, that's when everything changes. Start tonight. Not tomorrow, not someday, tonight. Close your eyes and think about who you want to be a year from now. Then ask yourself, what would that person do right now? And then do it. That's the difference between wishing for change and creating it. This is your reminder. Your habits are your story. Your discipline is your freedom. Your future is waiting on what you choose today. So stop scrolling. Stop hesitating. Stop overthinking. Take the smallest action possible right now, because your next chapter starts here. And when you look back months from now, you'll realize that this moment, when you decided to act, was the day everything began to change. If you're ready to step into that version of yourself, don't just watch this and move on. Use it, implement it, because the gap between where you are and where you want to be is built one disciplined day at a time. And one day, you'll thank yourself for starting today.